Mufti, Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh population area massive. Why can't the governments introduce contraception? I don't think me answering that question is it's going to affect the population control or dynamics of any country. You see, I would feel that there, these things are more kind of social, a collective kind of unconscious and a kind of zeitgeist, a feel of a social collective of people. There's a mixture of things in there. So, for example, there will be cultural values, religious values, educational issues, how educated people are, accessibility, resources. Because if you don't have what you need, then, and if it's not distribution of these resources, allocation, there's corruption. I mean, there's a lot of issues that are kind of that are going on, and they're not always in all Muslim countries. So not all Muslim countries, as you've clearly highlighted, the Indian subcontinent, it's not all Muslim countries are like that. So it's not that, for example, I don't know, let's say Tunis is out of control in population. It's not. And I don't know whether, to be honest, I agree with out of control is the right word. I do believe that, as Elon Musk says, I kind of agree with him, that I think it's a myth that we are overpopulating the earth. I do believe in that. But I also accept that there ought to be, you see, the overpopulation is a myth. That said, it shouldn't, on many occasions, family planning is a different discussion. So not everybody that's family planning, in fact, I would feel most people that are family planning are not family planning based on the earth is being overpopulated myth. They are family planning in relation to their own lives. So, for example, let's say somebody thinks that, well, okay, we've got married. Let's think, these couple of years we're going to be focusing on this. We're not going to focus on kids because we need to sort this out, that out, this out. Then I think we're at a right age when we will kind of, or I don't want to have kids at this age. I want to have it a bit later on. And now this is a person's own perspective. Now, some people may say that's right. Some people may say that's wrong, but that's their own choice. There is a multiplicity of views. If somebody feels that that's haram, then that's to them. They shouldn't do it. These people that are doing it clearly will be following the other opinion, that they feel it's okay to do that. So then that is a different discussion, because many of these places, maybe they are having children. They don't want to have the children, but then they're thinking, oh, it just happens. And then it keeps happening, because if, as you can imagine, and then they just struggle. They don't know what to do. So you'll get people that will have so many kids, and they will think, and then a lot of them, the whole thing, and this becomes a very intricate discussion then, because it's got so many nuances to it, because people will then bring in the equation of destiny. People will bring in the equation of risk. People will bring in many equations. But you see, amongst all of these as well, Allah has given you. See, you would never know how life would be unless you took that path. See, you only know how it is because of the path you took. So such it is. And such it was always meant to be, since that was the path you took. It's amazing. It's like in quantum physics. You see that the quantum field is an area of potential, and from it, you will get properties will emerge. But how they emerge, where they emerge. Consciousness will have some element in dictating that. So I feel, yeah, these things should be, but I don't agree in the myth of overpopulating the earth. I don't think. I do agree with Elon Musk that that's just a myth. But I do agree that people should do things sensibly, not be irresponsible, not be kind of just blame it on God. Don't do the blame it on God thing, because God gave you capacity, He gave you the intellect, He gave you reason. وَيَعْلَمُ مُسْتَقَرَّهَا وَمُسْتَوْدَعَهَا. He knows where you are and what the goal was, and what did you do to get there. So, and then the problem with this is because the whole topic is tied into sex, that kind of complicates everything, because in the Indo-Pak, and I think this is, maybe I could be wrong, but I think this is more so, I don't know about Bangladesh, how sensitive they are to the topic of sex. I get the impression that they are less sensitive and more natural towards it. I could be wrong on that, but this is the impression. But the Pakistani, and especially the northern India, that kind of region, it is just an utter taboo. So the problem with that then is anything to do with it, you're not allowed to talk about it. So if you can't talk about it, you can't deal with it, and then you have horrible incidents. You have people say, well, this is, but then people will do things. People in places like that, in Pakistan, I remember they would, like, women would end up getting pregnant. Maybe they just had sex with someone out of wedlock or something, and they would just literally throw the baby, literally, like tie the baby up and chuck it in a canal. I remember my uncle, may Allah bless his afterlife, he rescued a baby from this sewage canal in a sack, because people said they could hear crying. He was he was like one of the inspectors of that. I mean, that's the vicinity he lived in as well. But so he rescued it, and the baby had been, I think it was it was like a relatively newborn. He was saying it is an amazing, such a cute and beautiful baby. And it was this boy that the mother had wrapped the boy, and she tied him in the sack so tight and chucked him that my uncle paid for his kind of medical intervention. They had to do all these things. He couldn't, because the way they'd strapped the stomach so tight on the thing, he remained constipated for weeks and things, that my uncle was telling me. And he paid like so much money, had doctors look at him. He said that he took him home, like he took care of him personally, and he said that I will adopt him if he's, inshallah, he survives. Baby didn't survive. It died after, I think, like maybe a few weeks or something. It just couldn't, because they'd kind of tore the organs inside. It was too excruciating. Now, that's horrible, but there is that is the verse of the Quran, إِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةُ سُئِلَتْ بِأَيِّ ذَنْبٍ قُتِلَتْ. When the child will ask, over what crime was I killed? There is a guilt on whoever did that, presumably the parent. But then there is a guilt on society. Why was she put in a position to do that? You don't walk away guilt scot-free. You don't walk away like angels. You created an environment where she would be forced to do that. No person in their right mind would do something like that. Would bear a child for 9 months and then rip its organs together and chuck it into a sewage canal. No person would do that. But you created an environment where she, for whatever bizarre reason, did something like that. Everybody holds some responsibility. So this is these things are incredibly complex. May Allah make things easy. Yeah. And I think sometimes we have to, this is why there was in Pakistan, there was a great philanthropist, Abdul Sattar Eidi, and he had a center where he would say that, look, if you don't want your baby, don't kill it, leave it here, and we will. He had like orphanages and things like that, and they had like a section where you could just leave a baby and go, and it was disappointing that some of the clergy, you know, may Allah guide these people, they would condemn him and say that he's encouraging zina, you see, and they would curse him and swear at him. And this is not, you know, it's, you have to see a bigger picture, that whosoever saves a single soul, Allah, it is as though they have saved mankind.